Hello. Hey, baby girl, baby boy. I really feel like the girl's gonna be first. That's why I keep calling you. My little girl's gonna be first. How are you? Today is February 6th, and I'm in the Octavia lab. I just finished recording the Kojic episode, and right now we getting into a Bronx Tale. So I'm about to put my Bronx voice on because that just shows you my versatility. So that's probably what's gonna be showing out a lot right now is this Bronx voice. So get in because I'm a true Bronx girly, and that's what you're gonna be experiencing, baby girl. This is an episode about where I'm from, which is the Bronx, New York, and a large part of why I am the way I am. And I first wanted to give this foundation because New York City is a very unique place because of the volume of people there, because of the fact that it is a capital. It's a fashion capital, it's a travel capital, it's a technology capital, it's a government capital. It is one of the biggest, most important cities of the world. And inside of that city is the Bronx, one of the 5 boroughs. And because I was raised in that city, it has a large has a large effect. I don't know why this is so funny. It has a large effect on who I am. So, yeah. So, what was I raised to believe? Okay, so I'm going to try to paint the picture of growing up in the Bronx. First of all, I am a second generation Bronx girl. My mother was born and raised in the Bronx, and my grandmother moved to the Bronx when she was in her 20s. So, it gave Bronx for dumb years. Like, my family gives Bronx, it gives Bronx. It gives Bronx. And the Bronx has a reputation for having an edge, for being dangerous, for being a little ruthless, also creative because it was where hip hop was birthed. Okay, because if it wasn't for the Bronx, this rap probably never would be going on. So tell me where you from? Uptown, baby. Uptown, baby. We get down, baby. Up for the crown, baby. Period. First of all, put some respect on that, okay? But it's a very intense place. We have a lot of slang, and there's a lot of pride. I think that because of the amount of people, billions of people that's in New York City, there is an energy in New York around boundaries, and the boundaries come with your energy. That's why a lot of New Yorkers are perceived as aggressive and guarded, because we are living in a city where you encounter hundreds and thousands of people every day. You get on a train and you are surrounded by hundreds of people. You walk on the street, it's mad people on the street. Mad people in Harlem, mad people on the street. So unlike in rural areas or, other areas where on your commute to work, you might be in a car. You see your same people. In New York, every day you see multiple different people. Energetically, think about that. Think about how much energy that New Yorkers are encountering. So it would only be logical that we would have boundaries, and those boundaries come across in our face. They come across in our words, our verbiage, and our energy. And it's basically like, just so you know, in order to get through to me, there's something in between us. I know we on this train. I know that we this close, and my arms is probably touching yours because you done stuffed me in this train. But there's still a boundary here. Like that's what I was raised to believe is like our boundaries. Like also pride. Like growing up in the Bronx, I was always raised to believe that we were the best. Like I feel like that's just a New York thing. Like especially as I travel away from New York and from the States. Like, even to this day, when I go, I've been to 36 countries. Whenever I go somewhere and somebody's like, where you from? It's New York. Sometimes it's the Bronx. I will be in Ghana and they're like, oh, okay, where you from? I'm like, I'm from the Bronx, because y'all know the Bronx. Y'all have heard about it. Y'all know where we at. So I don't even got to say the U.S. There's a pride piece on there. That's it kind of like added to my identity, because when you're from a place that a lot of people think are cool, you just automatically feel cool. So pride was very, very strong in my raising up. Like, my aunts and my uncles, even back in the day, like before my friends and I got out and about, like, Bronx people stayed in the Bronx or Manhattan. Like, Bronx people didn't go to Brooklyn people didn't go to the Bronx. It gave very much pride. Like, we over here doing our thing, y'all over there doing y'all thing, even within New York City. So our pride in the Bronx was very, very strong. The other thing that was very huge in the Bronx was that aesthetics matter. Like, how you look matters. It's probably especially as a child, as a youth, it's one of the most important things in the world. And I was talking about this with my brother, who married, and his wife, who's not from New York. She's from Virginia, or she was raised in the DMV for the most part. She's from overseas, but she was raised in the DMV. And we were just talking about our different experiences around aesthetics. Like, so, I'm a Taurus, and Taurus people really enjoy finer things, luxury. Like, I'm ruled by Venus. I love things. I love to look nice naturally. But even as a child, when you were coming up in New York City, there was a uniform that you had to wear. And this is in public school, like, and I'm not talking about a uniform like that you go get from the uniform store. I'm saying, like, you had to have a certain level of clothing in order for you to not get bullied. Like, there were certain shoes that you could wear and certain shoes that you could not wear. And if you wore those other shoes, if you wore shoes that didn't cut it, you would be shamed. You will be bullied. You will be talked about. It will be automatically assumed that you're wilding, like, you look crazy, like, what are you wearing? So, for example, one Christmas, and the thing is, it was really, really strong because mommy, like, my mom, grandma, she cared less about aesthetics and, like, name brands than I did. So me, naturally, as a person, I care about aesthetics. I'm not so pressed about name brands right now. Only my sneakers have to be, like, only my shoes. That's stuck with me. Like, my shoes, my sneakers got to be, like, a certain level. But I'm not as crazy as I was then. But back in the day, like, it was levels. Like, for example, like, you can't wear no clothes from, like, Walmart or Kmart. Like, you got to put on designer, even if you get it from the outlets, or if you get it from a sale, it's 2 seasons over. Like, there's a certain level. Like, your lowest sneakers may be Chuck Taylors. And these was like $40. And if they was Chucks, they have to be clean, because they, like, kind of like your, like, casual sneaker. Like, you can't really always be wearing Chucks for real. You got to have a step up. Maybe some Reeboks, that's around $40, Then if you could really make it work before it got to the Jordan level, get you a pair of Uptowns, which I call Air Force Ones. Those is around $85. Like, there's certain levels that you had. So my mother asked me, like, because mommy wasn't into name brands and I would kind of, like, ration my gifts to her, like, ration what I would ask for Christmas. And so one Christmas I was like, I just want a pair of Uggs. So she was trying to get me more than just a pair of Uggs. And I guess she went shopping with my brother, and she picks up the Kmart Bear Claws. Now, I am a grateful person. Like, I understood that my mother was a single mother. I understood that. But when she presented me those barefoots on Christmas, because of what I knew I would experience in school, I did not even pretend that I could wear these. Like, I was like, I opened them and I saw that they was bear claws, and I was like, Ma, I cannot wear these. And she was like, what do you mean? They look exactly like the Uggs. And then my brother's in the background like, I told you. Because he was clear. And mommy's like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, Ma, like, if I go to high school, 16 years old, I have to get on the like, it's mad. I have to see mad people. I have to get on a bus and see all of the Truman kids, the Columbus kids, the Evander kids. I have to get on the train from the Bronx and ride through Harlem, through Manhattan, get off, walk past Martin Luther King High School, which was another hood school that was, everybody was Flea. Flea is, stylish. And you really want me to walk mad places in some bear claws? First of all, bear claw, the way New Yorkers were so wild on aesthetics back then that we could even tell. You could tell bear claws from the front and the back because it's very strict. When the first thing that you look at in New York is your fit. You go up and you go down. You clock and you make an assessment. So I was like, Ma, I cannot wear these. Like, I would literally get bullied. Like, people would be laughing. Like, no. It was a very fast-paced environment in the Bronx. Like, I was on the train at 12 and 13. Every day, hour and 45-minute commute one way. So if you think about a child at 13 being on the train for 3 to 3.5 hours every day in multiple boroughs, there was a lot that we saw, whether that was bums trying to attack us, older men trying to give assault, whether it was all of the cuties that was trying to bag us or the other girls that might have wanted to fight us. Like, it was a lot of energy as a child. So I was raised to be like head on a swivel in the Bronx. It gave head on a swivel. On top of that, I was able to party. Back in the day, there was teen clubs. Like, you would go in there, no alcohol, but the DJ party, and we was partying on Fridays every night. So I was around a lot of people at a younger age, which upped my social skills. It upped my awareness. It upped my ability to problem solve, because we on a train, we walking, we trying to see, like, it sharpened me. It sharpened me being from the Bronx. What am I keeping or what am I leaving? So I'm definitely, based off of what I learned, I'm keeping my boundaries. Like, I always have my Bronx, don't look at me, don't talk to me face in my toolbox. If there's ever a time when I'm walking and I'm outside and I feel like I don't want to be bothered and I want to like disappear, I know how to put on that mask. I know how to put on that energy. I know how to put on that boundary where nobody's going to talk to me. That's something I learned from growing up in the Bronx. I'm definitely keeping my pride. I know that the Bronx is the best place ever. I know that I am T, that we are T. That's not stopping. That's never changing. And even so, even if you are not born in the Bronx, because I'm from the Bronx, you're gonna be cool just because you came out of my coochie. Why is coochie a funny word? Coochie. Why is coochie funny? Oh my God. Because you came out my coochie, you are going to be cool. Period. Same like my Bronx, my dog. So I also am going to keep the suspended disbelief. Imagine this. New York City is such an interesting place that there's always stuff going on. There's always some type of shenanigans. There's always some type, like, in any given moment, you could see something happen. You could see somebody walking a raccoon. You could see somebody selling toothpaste on the side. You could see somebody asking, begging for money. Like there's so many things. So because there's so many opportunities to be influenced, to be interacted with, that requires a lot of discernment and suspended disbelief. I was going to call it skepticism, but I don't feel like I'm a skeptic. But I think that growing up in the Bronx allowed me to sit and listen to what people are going to say before getting gotten. Like when you have multiple people begging you for money every single day, why is that funny? When you have every single day, you get clear on discerning whether or not you want to give it at that time. You get to understand, okay, this tone means you're probably capping. You're shaking right now, so I doubt that you're actually going to use that money for food. You know, they got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm not giving you money, but if you want to go into the store and buy some food, we could do that. If they say no, that lets me know you don't really want the money for food. You want it for something else. Like there was a discernment that I got. There's a suspended disbelief that I got from being in the Bronx that I take with me through life. That comes in my meetings. That comes in my relationships. It's just, figuring out, is this real or not? Now, what am I leaving behind? I'm definitely leaving behind the external pressure. The downside to being in such an aesthetically driven environment is that there's also an attitude that comes with that. And there was a very too cool for school attitude. Like New Yorkers, even though we're so aggressive and so like in your face, there's also a big part of us that hides the emotions. That's like, I can't show you that I'm actually very hyped. Like I have to also remain cool. Like I'm not really gonna tie my sneakers up too much, even though it may make it hard for me to walk, because I'm cool enough to pull this off. I'm not gonna zip my coat up because it's mad cold, because you have to see the whole fit. I'm too cool to actually be cold. Like I'm not going to smile too hard when you compliment me. I'm gonna, shake my head, or I'm gonna, I'm going to deflect, say a little jokey joke. I'm going to punch you as a girl. I'm going to just like, shove you to be like, stop playing. Like there's a too cool for school piece that I was raised in that was actually detrimental to my career. Because as an actor and as a creative, it's best for you to actually be in tune with your emotions, to welcome them, to share them. So being in a space where it felt like you were supposed to minimize your emotions, definitely it just downside. It just didn't benefit the larger picture. Like even in auditions, I just remember like auditioning in New York City, when looking at women and people who traveled and who maybe lived in Nebraska. And in Nebraska, they were the stars of their school. They was out and about, big, me. They come in these auditions in New York and they giving that same energy. Like I'm a star. They in the waiting room like, hey, how y'all doing? Okay, da-da-da. Back in the day, when I was in my early 20s, when I was, auditioning, I would be looking at them crazy. Like, why are y'all smiling and talking to everybody? Like, you're mad pressed. Like, you're mad. Whole time, they're getting their energetic jitters out. They're scoping the scene. They're making it a normal thing. They're not making it this big thing where I gotta just be in a corner and focused and too cool. And I realized that it was an emotional separation. Like it was a detriment. It actually, even to this day, like I had a post about how we need to bring back the hams. Like not only is our generation, I feel like, very too cool for school. It's very much like, oh, okay, don't be pressed, don't look at me. That part also comes from me being New Yorker. Like New Yorkers are cool, and I definitely want to leave that behind. Now, a moment of gratitude is that I really love my city. And I love my city because whenever I think about, like, I was talking about in the last episode how my whole spiritual journey is based around how, like, the things that I believe can support my mission. So I really believe, like, I do believe that I chose my parents based off of their genetic potential to support my life mission. Like I've said that before. But I also feel like I attracted in this lifetime, being from the Bronx, like being raised in the Bronx, as a gift. Like, there's no place like New York. There's no place like New York. And that level of audacity as it pertains to me driving, like learning how to drive in New York City, learning how to talk, learning how to navigate in New York City, that audacity that you get from just walking in the street it has made me a stronger and like really, really confident person. Like so much so, like my father. So my father's from California, right? He's from California. He lives in California. And I remember like I would come to California in the summer, spend times in the summer, and I would be like 10 years old. I'm sorry. I would be like 10 years old. And he would be like, all right, baby, like, you know, when you go to the school, like he would, okay, focus, Cleveland. He would sign me up for classes. Like, he signed me up for tennis. He signed me up for swimming lessons, like different classes. And he would sign me up. And before he would send me in a class, he would just be like, he'd be like, all right, you know, look after yourself, be careful. Like, you know, if anything happens, let the teacher know. And I would be like, I'm not scared of nobody. Like, I'm from the Bronx. Like, they not about to do nothing to me. Like, and I was dead serious. And I remember, like, interacting with bullies, like bullies in LA, like when I would be in the tennis class. Like, there was one time where they were reviewing addresses. And because my father had just moved to that house in LA, and that was my first time going to that house that summer, I didn't know it. So I had called him and was like, Daddy, what's the address? So I gave it to the teacher. And then one of the girls was like, you don't even know your own address? And I was like, I have 2 addresses. I'm not even from here. I'm from the Bronx. So you got 1 address, I got 2. Get out of here. Like, I'm grateful that I had that belief that nobody was better than me because I was from the Bronx. And I took that everywhere, like even in Singapore. Like, I remember people be like, oh, are you scared over there? Like, I'm like, I will be looking at those slums or other hoods and other areas, and in my mind I'm like, there's nothing worse than the Bronx. Like, there's nothing worse than what I've seen. I've seen people die. I've seen people get shot. I've been next to people getting shot in parties. We've been running out. Like, it's been concrete jungle. It's giving jungle. It gives shootout. It gives murder. It gives yelling out. Like, it gave that. So I was never scared by y'all's little crime. Like, and I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful. Because remember I said, like, your thoughts create your reality. So I sometimes feel like even in North Carolina, going to North Carolina, I would be like, they'd be like, you know, oh, y'all better be careful, or that's the hood. And I would just be weak. Like, I know y'all say Greensboro's lit. Like, I get it. Like, I know that there's hood and crime everywhere, but y'all not doing nothing that's not happening in the Bronx. So, like, y'all not about to do nothing to me. Like, y'all can't do nothing to me. Like, I'm from the Bronx. Like, get out of here. Like, I'm just grateful for this attitude because I feel like that's protected me, even through situations where I might have been in danger. But because I was like, I'm protected because I've been in the hood. I was raised, now not proper hood, but hood adjacent, but in the culture of hood because I had a lot of freedom as a kid. Yeah, I ain't scared of y'all. So definitely grateful for that. What I want to raise you to believe is that boundaries, like that boundary that you should have from New York, but also oneness and openness is equally important. And you should have discernment. So you should not walk through life with that face of like, don't talk to me, don't touch me. That's not a one size fits all tool. I want you to be able to tap into your aggression, but also tap into your openness, tap into your humanness, because that's a skill. Both of them are skills and tools that that should be used. And discernment should come from what's happening outside and inside, not just what's happening outside. Not like, oh, just because I'm walking outside, it's going to be an issue. I'm about to look like this and act like that. No, I want you to be raised with discernment, your own personal discernment that comes from within. Every circumstance is different, regardless of, you could be in the same place in 2 different days and should be able to have 2 different reactions because there's 2 different things going on. One day it might be a person that you shouldn't interact with. Another day it might be a person that hasn't the key to an opportunity. But that discernment comes from within. It's not because I'm a Bronx girl, so y'all got to get this attitude. And that's what I want the distinction to be. I'm rushing through this because I got about 5 more minutes in this, and I really want to finish this up. So my question to make me fall in love this week is, when did you last sing for yourself and to someone else? Well, to someone else was an audition. I had an audition for Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. I did not get a call back for it because I was not really happy with my audition, but that was the last time I sang for someone. And for myself was in the car earlier singing, I let it fall, my heart, and as it fell, you rose to claim it. A little Adele. I sing all the time. I want to sing a little bit more. I'm going to be singing on live soon, but I sing all the time. And I hope our household is filled with singing. I hope your father can sing. And if he doesn't, if he can't sing, I hope he likes hearing me sing, and I hope he likes being in the background because I want there to be music. I hope you can sing too. Very excited about that. Okay, this was a shorter episode. Come on, little Bronx Tale. I did that. But if it wasn't for the Bronx, you feel me? If it wasn't for the Bronx, shouts out to the Bronx. Shouts out to Co-op City. Okay. To the home team. Period. Shouts out to Fordham. Shouts out to Bay Plaza. Shouts out to Castle Hill. Shouts out to the South Bronx. Shouts out to Eastchester, Gun Hill, Boston Road. Shouts out. Shouts out to the 5 train, the 2 train, the 6 train, the 4 train, the 1 train. Shouts out. Period. I love you. Bye.